3.
Hello, Cow Sheep. It's your one and only Cowboy Prophet back with you as we begin another football season, another NFL season with the Dallas Cowboys. We're in the Chicken Fried Nation, and I'm here to give you the truth right as we get started in preseason tonight. I hope you'll stay with me the whole season. I will give you the truth. I will be giving you the cold, hard truth all season long after every game, giving you insights into how to properly put your hope in something other than the Dallas Cowboys this season, even when you're a fan, like I am, all right? So first thing as the season begins is I'm going to give you 3 reflections on training camp, 3 things to keep in mind about training camp now that it's over, 3 things to keep in mind as we start preseason tonight, and then some final thoughts as we begin the preseason and get ready for September and the new season with, just all kinds of fun to come with the Cowboys and the NFL. First of all, 3 things to learn from training camp. You got to keep this in mind. Training camp being over, first thing, and this is important, you always got the most important thing to keep in mind with any preseason, any team, the Cowboys especially, are injuries. Who's getting hurt? I mean, you always have crimes, COVID, and carts, injuries, people committing crimes, and we could talk about drama going around the whole league with that kind of problems, and COVID, right? You have all these kinds of things that can happen. And so you've always got to keep up with the players and what's going on with injuries and things of that nature in training camp. And there's already been a few that have happened. Secondly, don't buy any of the nonsense whenever you have all the media pundits and the trainers and the coaches saying, so-and-so looked good in camp today, or so-and-so's playing really well in camp today. Everybody looks good in camp. You can Photoshop me and make me look good. It'll take a lot of work, but you can do it. Don't listen to anybody. The only people that probably sometimes don't look good in camp are kickers, right? So don't buy any of that nonsense. Well, they look good in camp. Of course they look good in camp. Don't buy any of that. Well, they look good in preseason. Nobody cares if they look good in preseason. Do they look good in the season and the postseason? That's where it counts. And then third thing to keep in mind when it comes to training camp is don't believe all the media hype. I mean, here in Dallas-Fort Worth, they say all the locals, they say the same stuff because they're on Jerry's payroll. This is a new team. If you were going to complain about last season, well, you're right, it's a new team. And a lot of the players that were good are gone. So or they've gotten better on this side of the ball or that side of the ball, or it's a rebuilding year. Don't listen to the hype, right? The only hype that matters is what's between the stripes. We don't want to talk about the stripe hype. Whenever they're playing, that's fine. But don't listen to all the people. They're just trying to get you to go see the games because they know in reality it ain't looking good. So that's what to keep in mind in training camp. When it comes to the preseason, first of all, with preseason, number 1, just like training camp, watch for injuries. All right, you've already seen the Jets are now in despair because Zach Wilson may be out for the season with an ACL tear. You got to keep up with what goes on in training camp as well as in preseason with injuries. Secondly, this is serious. Watch out for the no-names. Sometimes in preseason, you'll have a Patrick Creighton or a Miles Austin who will show you something. Man, they'll go out there and they'll hustle and they'll make some plays. And that's what makes preseason fun, to be truthful and honest. Preseason's about seeing those guys that are just trying to make the team, and they put it all out there in the field, and that's worth watching. Don't expect them to do anything to get them to the dance, but it's fun for whenever you're watching Hard Knocks on HBO or something like that. And then also enjoy the free agent drama during preseason. Right now, there's rumor mill about getting Antonio Brown or Odell Beckham to the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah, we want a guy out there who's past his prime or takes his jersey off and leaves the team in the middle of a game. Yeah, that's the guy we want for the Cowboys. I mean, always keep all that in mind because that's the Dallas Cowboys way, right? All sizzle, no steak, all frosting, no cake. All right, so lastly, as we begin the season, some things to keep in mind as we approach the season in September. Number 1, it's all out there in the media here in Dallas. The offensive line is in big trouble. They are not blocking well, and that means that everything's going to be put on Dak's shoulders, and we all know Dak can't run. Dak cannot scramble the way he used to. It's not his fault. We get a bionic ankle, you can only do so much. And so a bad offensive line with a guy who's not going to be able to scramble like he used to, that's a recipe for disaster. Second thing to keep in mind as we go into the season is the receiving core is awful. Our number 1 receiver is CeeDee Lamb, and our number 2 receiver is Michael Gallup. I don't even know what I really need to say. CeeDee Lamb is not in the top 10 of receivers in the NFL. He might be in the top 20, maybe 19, or 18. But he's not in the top 10, and he definitely not in the top 5. And Michael Gallup's not in the top 20. He is not in the top 20. So, it's the receiving core. It's not going to be pretty. Don't worry about putting them on your fantasy teams out there, fantasy players, unless you're playing in a 12-man league and you're in the 8th round, you don't have any other choices. Also, listen to what they're saying about Zeke. We don't know how we're going to be able to use Zeke as much this year. He's getting around $12.4 million to play this year, and they can't figure out if they want to use him more or not. What does that tell you? I'll tell you what it means. It means that Jerry and Stephen Jones are still running the show. And as long as they run the show, it's about banking Hardy, not about getting a Lombardi. You heard it right here, fans. The season's not going to be a drama. It's going to be a sitcom. And I'm going to be here, Cow Sheep, to give you the truth after every game. So remember, I'm the Cowboy Prophet who's the best at hate, but everyone loves the most. See you next time.